Kelly's Court is back in session. On the docket today, disgraced former NFL All-Star O.J. Simpson back in court trying to win his freedom. Simpson's about 4 years into a 33-year prison sentence. In 2008, he was convicted for his role in the armed robbery of a sports memorabilia dealer in Las Vegas. Now he's trying to convince a judge that he deserves a brand new trial and another shot at freedom, claiming that his former lawyer failed to give him a proper defense. Mark Eiglarsh is a former prosecutor, now defense attorney. Mercedes Coleman is a Fox News legal analyst. And what's happening now in court today, it's incredible to see O.J., by the way, just he looks so different.
Right.
But what's happening in court today is the co-counsel in his trial in 2008 is getting up there and throwing the lead counsel, Yale Galanter, under the bus in terms of all the terrible things Yale allegedly did to his client and failed to do and so on. Tell us, Mercedes.
Oh, it's amazing because Grasso took the stand and Yale said, hey, Grasso, you want to be famous? Come on, let's try this case. Grasso's like, don't we need some experts? This is what he's testifying. Yale's like, well, we don't really have money for experts. So what Grasso testified is that he's listening to these audio tapes that were potentially exculpatory of O.J. that his 15-year-old set up for him. And he's sitting there while he's watching his kid's soccer game. He's listening to audio tapes. It's obviously there's some sort of financial dispute between Grasso and Galanter, and Grasso's just saying, really, we didn't really take this very... Yale didn't even take it seriously. Yale tells me there's a plea bargain. I'm not sure if it was communicated to O.J., but O.J.'s going to say, if he takes a stand, and certainly he will in this case, hey, I didn't even know there was a plea bargain. I didn't have the right effective counsel,
so the
and no one knew I was going forward.
So
yes,
the co-counsel, Gabriel Grasso, gets up there and throws Yale Galanter under the bus, saying, I'm telling you, Judge, the lead counsel in this case did not look out for O.J. Simpson. And, I mean, cry me a river about the 15-year-old had to set up the audio equipment. Boo-hoo. But the business about not communicating a plea offer could be a game changer if it's true, Mark.
Yeah, if it's true, that's the key. It's not true, and they have a name for what O.J.'s about to do. They call it perjury. To suggest that Yale Galanter, a 30-year veteran, who in the interest of disclosure is a friend of mine, but I also know as a South Florida lawyer, he's a top attorney, and Defense Work 101 is to communicate pleas to defendants. Who's going to say that he didn't do it? O.J. Simpson. He should have called this not a motion for new trial, but a motion for a field trip, because that's all he's going to get out of it.
One of the things he's supposedly going to suggest to this judge is that what he was convicted for in 2008 was really the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. You know, that he got off in the criminal trial, and that what this was really about was trying to get justice when many felt justice was not done in the 1995 trial. Does that go anywhere, Mercedes?
No, unfortunately it doesn't, but there's definitely some karmic energy because the day that he was convicted of these crimes was the 10th year anniversary of his exoneration of the killing of both Nicole and Ron Goldman. So certainly that's one of their arguments, but it's not going to fly. But first of all, it's before a judge. The judge is not going to look at that. He will dig deep into what was the advice of counsel, because certainly that's a
but they're going to talk about a 33-year
right
sentence for this, you know, a few minutes in a hotel room where no one got hurt, Mark. And O.J.'s going to argue, let me tell you, Judge, 33 years was about Nicole Brown Simpson. It wasn't about that moment with the sports memorabilia guy.
Yeah, good luck proving that. This was a kidnapping. This was an armed robbery for which he was sentenced within the guidelines and sentenced fairly. These motions generically are rarely, if ever, won. When it does happen is when a defense lawyer is willing to fall on the sword for his client and say, you know what, I didn't communicate things to the client, I didn't act appropriately. Yale Galanter, he's not falling on the sword for O.J.
But O.J.'s going to take the stand, Mark, and he's going to say, not only did I not commit this crime, but Yale told me that these are my possessions, that as long as I didn't use force, didn't have a gun, didn't have any of these issues, I can retrieve that. That's what he's claiming.
O.J. Simpson?
That there was a conflict of interest, and Yale told me upon advice of counsel, hey, you know what, Mark? You know, as a trial lawyer, when all else fails, blame the lawyers, because that's a great defense. It's before a judge. We'll see.
Well, I didn't. Mercedes, I didn't know he was going to say it. This is O.J. Simpson. This is the same one who got away with murder, who said he had nothing to do with it, who lied about his involvement in the case for which he's serving the 9 to 33-year sentence. Yeah. His words have no value to anyone.
Blame everybody. He's blamed everybody from the moment Nicole Brown Simpson, I mean, even prior to when she was murdered.
Oh, he's looking for the true killer still, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, if he did it, this is how he did it, Mark. He's going to grace us with that. In any event, apparently he's been coaching basketball or baseball, I think, in the
Good
prison.
for him.
And he looks like he's got a sunglass
Great.
tan, doesn't he? Because, like, if you see, he looks like he's been spending a lot of time outdoors, and it looks like prison food is very good.
Yeah, he looks very different.
Right? I mean, he's put on some weight, hasn't he?
Oh, about 40, 50 pounds.
It's been a remarkable transformation, and not really for the better. But O.J. Simpson fighting for his freedom yet again. Panel, thank you both.